God is the gift of the gospel. Now it gets a little better. Not only does he give the gospel, but he's the gift of gospel. What do you mean he's the gift of the gospel? Well, think about it with me. He declares you righteous. It's the righteousness of God that's being emphasized here in Romans 3:21 through 26. And he says, I give you my righteousness. It's 2 Corinthians 5:21. God made him who had no sin to be sin for us in order that we might become the righteousness of God. What does God give us in the gospel? He gives us himself. And this is why. That's why I wrote in that phrase, those who have faith in him will be reconciled to God. That's the point. The problem is we're separated from God. The solution is we come back to God. We get God in the gospel. That seems almost simple, but you listen, folks, to how the gospel is sold in our day. And this is not what you hear. You hear people urging others to come to Christ. Come to Christ so that you can get forgiveness. Come to Christ so that you can get heaven. Come to Christ so that you can get satisfaction. Come to Christ so that you can get success. Come to Christ so that you can get your best life. Come to Christ so that you can get all the things you ever dreamed of. Blasphemy. You come to Christ to get God. We have taken God himself out of the gospel and given his gifts instead. You say, what do you mean? Ladies and gentlemen, do you think it's possible in our day to be more satisfied with the things of God than we are with God himself? To be more consumed with the things of God than we are with God himself? We have taken God himself out of the gospel and rejoiced in his gifts. This is wrong. God is the gift of the gospel. He gives us himself. There's nothing else we could ever want. And the beauty is all these things flow from God. Yes, there's forgiveness. Yes, I'm not saying heaven is not a great thing. Heaven is a wonderful thing, and it flows from the presence of God. Ladies and gentlemen, you will not go to heaven if you don't want God.